All right, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to perform simple barbell squat. The first step that we got to go over is stance. And your stance is basically determined by genetics. So some people may prefer a narrow stance, and some people may prefer a wider stance. And the best way to figure out what stance you are is to just grab a dumbbell and you're going to perform a simple goblet squat. So for me, if I have a narrow stance and I go down, that's about as far as I can go. But if I set my feet wider, go down with control, boom. See how much more depth I hit? That's because I prefer a wider stance. You know, my legs are a little bit longer, hip flexors are a little bit tighter. So if you feel like you're not getting that depth, just set your feet a little bit wider and just play with it and see what works best for you. Biggest reason why you want to hit depth is because then you can activate more muscle fibers in your hamstrings and glutes, hence making your legs stronger. So a cue I like to use for this is just to build your body around your stance, or build your stance around your body. Either way, it works. It's the best way to explain it. The second step that I want to explain to you is that when you unrack your squat, take your steps forward, you want to create tension with your body. Create tension with your traps, because your traps is what holds that bar in place. Create it with your lats. Your lats is also activated, holding that bar in place. And then with your core. The core, you want a nice, firm, solid core. You can't have a loose core, otherwise you're not going to squat as much. So I'll show you, for example. I'm just going to unrack. Visual demonstration right here. So you're going to want to unrack, take 3 small steps forward, and you can see my tension right there. And that's right before I start my descent for my squat. And yeah, a biggest thing to help with your tension is with your breathing. So right before I start my descent, take 1 deep breath in. That locks my core, that locks my traps, that locks my lats, and I'm ready to start my squat. One cue that I like to use for this is just to set tight from feet to bar. Everything right before that descent is tight and tension. The third step for the squat is the descent. And the biggest thing that you want to focus on for the descent is control. Control is going to activate the most muscle fibers possible. Hence, the more muscle fibers you activate, the more your legs grow and the more your legs get stronger. So when you go down into your descent, you do not want to let gravity take over. So you see a lot of people, they'll go down and then their body will just drop because they're letting gravity take over rather than controlling with their legs and the rest of their body through the tension that we talked about earlier. So I will show you, for me, we unrack, take our 3 steps forward, get my feet right, a little bit wide, tension, and we go down. See how I did not let gravity take over right there. We kept control the whole time. And yes, the more control you have, the more your legs are gonna grow. So yeah, just control, control, control. And on the descent, the best cue to use for this is to don't let gravity take over. You gotta maintain activating those muscles. Now the fourth step that I want to go over is the ascent. And so a cue I like to use for this is that our whole body is going to rise as one piece. So we're not pushing our hips up first and then our chest is going up. No, our chest rises the same times as our hips, the same times as our glutes, same times as our hamstrings. So when we go down, it's up in one motion. And you want to just kind of explode out of that. So show you. I'm going to put some safety clips on first. Probably should have done that right away. Good thing we don't have a lot of weight on the bar, otherwise that could have been bad. Put my safety clips on. You're going to unrack. Boom, take your 3 steps. Perfect width. We go down and up as one piece. And yeah, so those are the main steps to help you have a good squat form. Common mistakes. A lot of mistakes that I see with people is that they grip the bar way too narrow. If you have a narrow grip, it's just gonna pinch your shoulders and create a lot of shoulder pain. So honestly, you just want a good neutral grip with your arms on the bar. You can use these rings. I use them, they help just by making sure my hands are even. A second thing that people commonly mistake is just breathing. They're not taking a deep breath in before or while they create tension. And it's really like when you go down and you're holding that air in and you go into your scent, you really just want to let all the air out of your body. So it's just one big motion. And a lot of people don't utilize that. They do not emphasize the importance of breathing, but breathing is important. And you want to make sure that you explode all of your air out of your body on that rep, on your ascent. Another thing that I see people doing too much is when they go down, their hips start to hinge and their back, especially lower back, is putting on way too much stress. And they go down and it's more of a this motion. Whereas what you want to emphasize is your glutes and hamstrings doing all your work and your back is in a nice neutral position. So don't let your hips hinge, thus causing tension on your lower back. That's not a good thing to do. So yeah, those are just some common mistakes that you want to avoid. And yeah, that is how you do it.